to 24-hour news. I'm Reamneysreynuch. I will be responsible for the reporters today. We would like to deliver one of the top news during the day. A young couple who were found dead known as Romeo, age 17, and Juliet, age 13. Following flyer Lawrence came to avoid Juliet marry Paris. Juliet drank a bottle of sleeping potions, and that Friar Lawrence gave it to her in order to fake her own death. Romeo is oblivious to the schemes. Since Friar Lawrence's explaining letter is not delivered to him due to of the quarantine situations. He only heard that Juliet is dead. So he comes to the Juliet. When he arrived to the Juliet's home to grieve her, he swallowed a portion of his grief, looking to join Juliet in the death. And Juliet, upon walking and waking from the sleeping potion, found out that Romeo dead body and died by suicide by stabbing herself with the dagger. It came after the police went in Verona, Italy, following the tragic discovery, which had left loved ones shocked by the devastating news. It's all from me, Reamneysreynuch. I will be deliver the interview with the relative as well as the loved one of Romeo and Juliet, and as well as the psychologists from all around the world. We would like to bring you to the interview of our special guests who are known as the relative and the special ones to the death of Romeo and Juliet at the age of 17 and 13 in Verona, Italy. We would like to invite Lord Motung, who we all know who is the father of Romeo and the husband of Lady Motung. We all know that he has a very bitter relationship with the Capulet family. The Capulet family, we know that he is the important and rich family as well in Verona, Italy. We would like to invite Lord Motung to the speech. Good evening, Lord Motung. I hope you're doing well, and we are sorry for your loss. And we know that your son now is in peace now, and we know that you are not feeling quite well to this tragedy. But besides that, our show would like to ask you some questions related to your son's death. We hope you don't mind and answer the question openly. Our first question is that we would like to know about your feeling toward your son's death. Moreover, we would like to ask you about what are you going to do with Capulets after knowing that your son and Juliet sacrificed their life to one another.
As a long ago, and as well as Romeo's father, I feel so numb and empathy about my son's death. I should have been more responsible for my son's safety, and I should have been able to prevent what just happened. This shouldn't have happened at all. They love each other very much, and I think we should agree to let them live and love in their own way. I love my sons very much, and this is the saddest news and the saddest thing that ever happened in my life. I don't think we should keep hating each other with Capulet. We should end this war because this hatred have destroyed our children. When we end this hatred, many good things will come. Otherwise, we don't want to hear any more tragic news like this again.
I would like to thank Lord Motung for joining us 24-hour breaking news today. We would like to see you feeling better very soon. Thank you.
Welcome the notes to our news. So good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, so we would like to ask you some question related to the incident, the tragic incident related to the teen suicide. So do you mind telling us some of the questions that we would like to ask? So the first question we would like to ask, how do you feel after seeing both of them die away?
The first time that I heard that news, I really cannot believe and I cannot accept it that my ladies passed away like that. And at the time, my heart broke into pieces after seeing their death. They are too young to face that tragedy. And my lady is such a beautiful little girl that doesn't have much experience in love life, but her affection towards Romeo was so pure. And for Romeo, he's such a responsible young man. I don't know why God took both of them away like that. Why didn't they took me instead? I'm old. I should die before them.
I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Nurse. Really sorry for your loss, Miss Nurse, and we would like to ask you to clarify some other more questions, which is what made you support their love? Would you mind telling us?
Yes, okay. The reason behind that, I'm supporting their love because I took care of Juliet since she was little, and I love her with all my heart. I took her as my own daughter. So, as a mother, all I want is her happiness. Since she was young, I never saw her beautiful smile until she met Romeo. So I thought that Romeo was her true happiness. And another thing is that I saw Romeo is a reliable man and he really loved Juliet and can do everything for her. So I thought that Juliet can rely on him in the future and can live in happiness.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Hearing that she is such your real daughter, it makes you very sad to lose her. So our last question for today, Miss Nurse, is that do you feel regret to support in their love?
I don't feel any regret for supporting their love, but the most that what I regret the most is that I support them to hide their relationship secretly and support Frederick's Lawrence plans, which lead them to that like that. I should encourage them to open up their relationship to the two families so that there won't be have these miserable events happen like that.
Thank you very much for your time for today interview. We appreciate your times. Even we know that you are heartbroken of your loss. And thank you very much, Mrs. Nani.
Yes.
Now it's time to meet our another special guest who is Friar Lawrence. That we know that he is a friar that martyred the Romeo and Juliet during the tragedy. So we would like to welcome Friar Lawrence to our news.
Hello, Mr. Not.
Good evening, Friar Lawrence. I hope you're doing okay, and I'm very sorry for your loss of loving your beloved daughter and son. So we would like to ask you some questions related to the incident that maybe some of the things that behind we cannot know the reality. So our first question to you is how do you feel after seeing both of them pass away?
I have no word to express my feeling right now. I can't believe that both of them passed away so early, even if I'm not their real father. But to me, Romeo and Juliet will always be my real son and daughter in my heart. Not only me that feel unhappy, but everyone else as well. They did separate, and when they talking about the tragic event.
I can feel your pain through your speech, Miss Friar Lawrence. So I hope you're doing okay, and we would like to ask you some more questions. Have you tried your best to help both of them?
Yes, I did try my best. When I reached at the couple-led walls on Friday nights, I remember that it was such a terrifying moment that I will never forget it. Romeo have already died. He already perished. So then I attempted to persuade Juliet, but she seems unconvinced. They both died, and I only wish that it was a dream, but
We're really sorry. And this shouldn't happen. So we would like to move on to our last question of Lawrence. We understand your feeling, but we also want to clarify some of the things that our audience, the people, want to know the reality happened behind this. So, did you feel regret for suggesting Juliet hide their death and their afterlife with Romeo in secret? But then it wasn't successful as you thought.
I would say that I was upset by this outcome, but I didn't feel regret about this, what I have done. Even if I have the chance to choose again, I would have made the same decision. I was simply the one that want both of them to be happy. I was the happiest person when they got married because as the priest for their wedding, I feel as if I were their real father. So it was my responsibility to assist them in fighting these battles. And I know they won't stop if they were apart and couldn't spend the rest of their life together. So you know that before her marriage with Paris, I have met Juliet and she informed me that if there is no option for her to marry rather than marry Paris, she will commit suicide. She can't live without Romeo's and I knew she did for real. I just tried my best to help both of them as much as I could. In any case, most of them have already rest in peace, and the outcome of their death was not in vain. They have enabled both family to reunions, and the enmity is over, and their die is not bad.
Thank you very much, Fly Ryan, for your precious time and your explanation. So these, I think, our audience will hear out some of the things that they might misconfuse or they might misunderstand their story.
I would like to thank our three special guests joining us in the interview today. Thanks again for your precious time, and we appreciate it. We hope to see you feeling better in no time. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our first session of 24-hour news. See you in the next session, presenting the psychological analysis on social issue around this topic after the break. See you shortly. Besides interview of the close one of Romeo and Juliet, we would like to introduce you as well to our special guests of today, who are known as the famous psychologists. They're coming here to analyze the fact regarding to the suicidal tragedy of the young couple. Today, we have Miss Marapin, who graduated from HSE University of Moscow, and Miss Ratha, who is from University College London, UCL, coming here to present you the perspective or some sort of the psychological resources regarding to the fact behind the tragic accident. For Miss Marapin, do you think this tragic event from Romeo's and Juliet deaths affect the new generation as the whole society or not? If so, would you mind giving us some of the reasons as well?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Reynuch. I think Romeo and Juliet in the song is promoting satisfy oneself for love. It is true that some people will be affected or influenced by that, but it is come to the new society of new generation as a whole. I would say that does not really have enough power to influence people. I believe the new generation is mentally strong and more educated. Also, parents are more understandable about marriage and love too. So I don't think Romeo and Juliet affect the new generation that much.
Thank you for your descriptive answer. We are grateful for that. And moreover, we would like to ask you one last question, is that what are the consequences of this family effort for both society and family situations?
It is normally that there are consequences in every fighting, especially between two of the more powerful family in Romeo and Juliet time. I would say that when it comes to the consequence for society and social security is one of the big problem for maintaining fight between people of the two family, like when Romeo and Juliet have the truth cause destruction and chaos to people every day, like and wake at the time. No one dared to interfere, but the city peacekeeper Prince Aeschylus himself for the family situation. If we only focus on the Romeo and Juliet because of the conflict, it had caused them to realize again, and the family Romeo was exiled out of the city and lived his family and friends, while Juliet was focused to marry Prince and later on the end of commit suicide. So instead, I would say because of the family feud. The family was breaking apart, and at the end, they lose their beloved son and daughter for nothing.
After hearing the explanation of the perspective through the first psychologist, we would like to invite our second psychologist, who is Miss Ratha, which comes from University College of London, to analyze this story. So, good evening, Miss Ratha.
Yeah, good evening, Miss Reynuch.
We're grateful that you spend your precious time joining our show today. So we would like to get some of your perspective as well as your opinion in the story of Romeo and Juliet suicide. So our first question to you is that what do you think this tragic incident gives morals to learn from this scene?
Yeah, according to the tragedy, I think it had revealed so many lessons of how love, conflict, and family intertwine with one another. And of course, for love, it can result in both good and bad conclusion in its own way. It just depends on how we start and process our love. Anyway, this tragedy is also to illustrate the consequence one we choose to love in the wrong way, like the love in Romeo and Juliet, in which it seemed to push the lover closer to the love and violence at the same time, because both of them tend to fall in love for each other of their bitter family enemy for generations. And in the end, as we know, both of them were dead because of love, and they just made their family become sorrow and upset. And yes, after seeing the tragedy, we should learn that sometimes through love, we can also have become violent, commit crime, and we can also be lost everything because of love. Anyway, it doesn't mean that strong love or too much love is bad, but just remember, don't be blind love and try to deal with the issue instead of doing a foolish thing when you face some obstacle in your love. Yes.
Very much for your precise explanation about your perspective on this tragedy. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all heard about the explanation from psychologist Ratha, we all know that love, true love, is not always about happiness or not always about the sadness. So, the moral of this is to not blind by love. So let's just continue to our second question, Miss Ratha. If you were Juliet parents, would you force your daughter to get married like they did in the incident?
Well, if I were Juliet parent, I'm sure I wouldn't do like what they did to their daughter at all. Because as parents, they should be aware that even though their family have been enemy for generations, but children are innocent. And moreover, love cannot talk. Like Romeo and Juliet, despite both of them already know that their family are enemy, but they still cannot stop their feeling toward each other, and they still crave the chance to meet their lover and even make a secret marriage. So you can imagine when Juliet was forced to marry Paris, how she would feel when she had to marry the one she does not love at all. Of course, I think she must have felt so sad, sorrow, miserable, and suffering because if they agree to get married, they will be separated from her husband forever. And that's why she tried to find a way to stop her from marrying. And but as we know, that something was unfortunately happened. Like Juliet had died in the process of avoiding her marriage. So here I can say that Juliet died because of love and because she was forced to get married. And it is also the reason why my answer is not to force someone to get married, like a Juliet parent, or to force someone parted from their lover. Yes.
Okay, thank you for the second question, Miss Psychologist Ratha. And now I'm going to ask you another question related to the tragedy. So, based on your perspective, what do you think about the tragedy that had happened?
Well, to me, for this tragedy, I feel so sorry to hear that, and I think it shouldn't have happened like this at all. Due to the event that had been revealed, I think they should have find another solution rather than pretending to die for eloping. For instance, they should have informed their parent directly about their relationship, their feeling toward each other, and ask their parent for their forgiveness instead. And I think as parents, they wouldn't be too harsh to separate their daughter's happiness if they knew the truth. Yes, and anyway, to Romeo and Juliet, I also think that it was not the right thing for them to sacrifice their life for love as well. Actually, I admit strong love can make a couple die for each other. However, we should know that being that is not the way to solve the problem, but it is like a danger that is damping your life, your heart. Yes, and as you see, like Titanic or and Romeo and Juliet except when one died, the other one could not stop feeling guilty and blaming him or herself, saying they think they are the reason that make their lover die. So if someone died for you, please don't commit a silly thing to harm your life. In contrast, you should stay and live a happy life to make your lover feel satisfied in heaven that they volunteer to die for you. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for your precious time, Miss Ratha. We appreciate and grateful for your explanation toward your personal perspective throughout this tragedy.
Yes. Thank you.